please like, comment, and subscribe.
Hi IKYA, my name is Sarah and I have a question for you, actually 2 questions, and it's about the flow. I have heard many people talk about the flow and you have also spoken about it a few times, and I was wondering, if I am one with everything, how can my unique essence come through in my flow? If you could explain a bit more about that. And also, how can I access more of it and allow more of it into my life? Thank you.
To understand how flow works, there is one principle that you need to understand. It's resonance versus dissonance. I often talk about strings as the manifestation of what we are spiritually, and the set of vibrations that you represent, and then you being like the instrument of those strings. And your whole journey is about tuning your instrument and learning how to play it and be what you are in this universe. Now, what is interesting when it comes to flow, if we think of everything being oneness, everything is that complete isness, and that also being the flow, how can you not only access but become an instrument and a vehicle? So, if you can think of your strings, when they are in tune, something happens. They go from dissonance to resonance. And the principle is, with resonance, if you have a musical triangle that is produced on a specific frequency, and I stand in one corner of a room playing that. If you were standing in the other corner and you had the exact replica, a triangle, also manufactured on the exact same frequency, it will start to vibrate. When I play the triangle, this will start to vibrate and give off sound as well. This is resonance. If that triangle is made on one digit frequency that is different, it will not resonate. It has to be the exact same frequency, and then it just resonates. So, when you're out of tune, which means not having developed your consciousness in that specific part of yourself, you're still in the process of tuning. And when we are in dissonance, that's where we operate in the self. We operate in the ego, we operate in illusion, and we basically vibrate the self. Our needs, our stories, everything is about us, because that's what we're doing, and that's where we are, and we live in illusion. So as we tune one string, and it hits the point of resonance, the flow of life will then start to flow through. Because now that string operates on the exact frequency. And then what comes through is then oneness. The universe, God, whatever you want to call it. That's the flow. It's not you anymore. The string is you. The instrument is you. And what will come through then is that divine flow. But because you as an instrument, just like a guitar with the case, it will create a specific sound on that frequency, and that is your uniqueness. That is who you are. But it's still the vibration and the flow of the universe. If you're not in tune, that will not happen, because there is no resonance. And then whatever you do is your own ego story. And the point of the spiritual journey is to tune all your strings to the point of resonance. Everything that you are, everything that you consist of, needs to be in exact position. And the whole journey, and we're talking billions of different types of incarnations, is needed for you to tune all your strings and to get to exact point of resonance in everything that you are. This is why we study, this is why we go through everything we do. And the karma, all our karma, is what happens in these fields of dissonance. And when we work with our karma, we get a little closer. In one specific string, when we deal with our karma, and it's connected to a specific aspect of who we are, and a specific string, that dissonance will diminish, and you will get closer, you will be tuning. Every realization, every expansion of consciousness means that you're tuning your string a little closer. Or one of your strings, there are many of them. And it happens until you reach resonance. From that moment on, the self, the ego, cannot exist. Because it can only exist in dissonance. So when that string resonates, it flows. You can't control it. You can't manipulate it. You can't claim that, ooh, I'm tuned now, so it will come through. You can't, because it's resonance. Either you vibrate on that exact frequency or you don't. But when it comes through, it will make you as an instrument sound based on your uniqueness. You will be the sounding board. It will flow through, but you will be expressing it your way. And as you've done this many times, you start getting the hang of it and you start to understand, oh, this is actually where I'm aiming in all my spiritual process, in all my journeys. It's all about getting to the points of resonance in myself. This can also happen on micro level. Even a situation has a point of resonance, a point zero, where it's harmony, where it's balanced. Every type of manifestation has a point of resonance where when you get there, all of a sudden it flows through. Every action, whatever it is, every thought, everything can be tuned so resonance happens. If it's not there, it's just the ego. But this is how we learn. It's in that field of dissonance until resonance that we deal with our karma. And that's the purpose of it. It's not the intellectual learning that you go through and achieve through your karmic process. It's you being attuned and moving into resonance so that the divine flow can come through you, and that is what you bring into the world. And over time, string after string, aspect after aspect will be tuned. And you'll learn to do that in your life as well. Because whenever you bring something on a micro level to resonance, it's a part of bringing something greater to resonance as well. It's part of that journey. And this is how fractalization works. You need to deal with smaller aspects first, and then you deal with bigger ones. But it's always the tuning. And in that process, you have the realization that I can't control this. It's not about me. All I can do is to be in position and to tune myself, and there it is. And what comes through is not me. I don't own it. I don't control it. It's there only if I'm in resonance. And my job is to convey it, to be that sounding board so it can reach the world. It's not about me. Because the sounding board, without the sound, there's nothing. So in your life, try to listen. Where is the point of resonance? It can be in a situation, it can be in a conversation. It can be when something happens. And just know that there's like, if I tune this, there it is. Always seek that. Always seek to be that string or those strings. Try to be the one bringing a situation to resonance. And many of you have experienced parts of resonance. You know, sometimes like in the tuning process, you go back and forth and you try to find it. It's very much like dialing on an old radio. You go back and forth, you know, so you can pass through. Sometimes this is what we experience in spiritual practices. You know, you can meditate, and because you're actively trying to dial, you'll pass through it, and then you will feel that flow of resonance. And the moment you then start feeling or believing that you can manipulate it, it's yours, all of that, it's corrupt. It will still be a flow, but then you're out of tune again, and that's kind of dialing past it. You know, going back and forth, and over time we figure it out. Because we learn that the self, the ego will dissolve by itself when resonance takes over. And it's so much more interesting. It also relax. And you know, some parts of you might be in resonance, and other parts not. So you can sense sometimes that, yeah, you have clarity. You're able to be vehicle in one aspect, one situation, then something else happens, and all of a sudden you're out of tune because that activates different parts of you. But it's also smart to try to learn where you have achieved at least, you know, somewhat the experience of resonance, and then try to, okay, in this situation, I'm obviously not there. How can I use what I've learned to try to tune myself more? And this is a more direct approach. Instead of figuring out what do I need to learn, you know, in this way or that way, where should I go? And I was saying, it's not really about that. It's about dissonance and resonance. And when you learn and when you're able to sense the difference, it's all you need to know. The rest will be expressed through that resonance. It will be the divine flow coming through. And your job is to be that sounding board, that instrument. And the heavenly music will be played. It takes discipline, clarity, dedication, but you will get there. And you most likely have passed through it many times in different ways. It's natural, but try to aim directly at it. But what many people experience is that we are in a field of dissonance, and we try to look for the flow. Where is it? Where is my flow? Because we don't understand that we have to tune it. And it's not about what you want to be, the point of resonance, how you want to tune in, what practices you do. You know, I want it to be this way, I need to express myself, all of that. It's not how you do it. You can access energy, you can channel away, but it will not be that universal flow, that quality. Because when resonance happens, it can only happen because you already understand that it's not you. It's not about you expressing yourself. It's not about you controlling anything or doing anything. It's because you are in a complete state of surrender and dedication and determination. And as I said, when you move into that, the ego cannot exist in that moment. And that means complete surrender. And then you're not interested in expressing yourself or doing this or that. All you're interested in is seeing how this will express itself and how you can try to not be in the way of it. So we want to be the vehicle and the instrument. And at the same time, we don't want to be in the way because we know then it stops. And it's a whole different way of practicing. It's a whole different way of kind of searching and dialing. But you'll figure it out. Everyone does at some point. So seek resonance, precision, the dedication to what is, and let it take over. That's how you find the flow.